Welcome to Talkin Business. I'm Joe Catrambone, CEO of Stuart Martin County Chamber of Commerce, and I'm delighted today to have one of my favorite people in the world as a guest, and that's Kelly Johnson. I've known Kelly. Usually my first question of a guest would be, how did you come to Martin County, or what brought you to Martin County? Well, I'm not going to ask Kelly that because I already know that. I watched Kelly play high school athletics, volleyball especially, and traveled around the state watching. At that time, Martin County had a dynasty with volleyball. They were all over the place, winning championships and things of that nature. So that's how long I've known Kelly. And the thing I love about this story, and we're gonna get into Kelly why in a minute, but she went off to Gainesville to become a Gator, and came home, and that's special I think to the community, and especially to me as a chamber exec, when you can see our members' children going off away to school. So many of them don't come back. Ken Pruitt, State Senator, used to call it a brain drain because our kids didn't come home. So Kelly, to me, is just a wonderful story that she went off and did her thing and sowed her wild oats or whatever she did.
Wow.
But this lady, she'll go fishing with you, put on camos, and go hunting with you. Are you coaching t-ball, or are you just coaching t-ball? As I said, she'll put on camos and go hunting with you, and then she'll put on a gown and go to a formal event in the evening. So this lady is what I consider the total package, and she really truly is. And Kelly, you know, I don't want to embarrass you, but and I know you would never say it, so I had to say it. So I'm not going to. So my first question usually would be, what brought you to Martin County? Well, I know that, but so my question to you is, when you went off to Gainesville, did you think you were going to come home and run the business, or what did you have in mind?
No, I honestly, I didn't. I wanted to get out of Stuart because I thought, I don't want to come back. I don't want to be with my parents. I don't want to be in town. I've lived there my whole life. So, my plan was really to go. I was a business major. So pre-med, actually, all the way till my last semester.
Really? Pre-med? Oh.
Took my MCAT and did a couple internships and decided, that's just not for me. I didn't wake up every day wanting to do surgery or anything on people. So I had a couple jobs lined up in Atlanta and Charlotte, being a business major. And I got a phone call about 2 weeks before, graduation was happening at Florida. Of course, it was the big year, 2006. So we had quite fun that year, with basketball and football championships. But my dad called and he said, "Hey, what are your plans? Where are you going to go work? What's your next path?" And I said, "Oh, well, I think, I got 3 jobs in Atlanta. I'm going to go up there." So he said, "Okay." So about a week later, he calls me back and he's like, "So what'd you decide?" And I said, "I'm going to Atlanta, I'm going to accept this position." And he goes, "No, you're not. I need you at home." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, why?" I didn't really want to come home. And he said, at that time we had the storms of '04 and '05. And in the insurance world, there was blue tarps on everybody's roof here.
I remember
so,
well.
And it wasn't electronic. We weren't emailing claims at that point. It was more boots on the ground, helping people, faxing in claims, more the customer service. So I said, "I'll give you a year. I'll come home for a year." He said, "Great. I'll give you a place to live. You come home, give me a year." And so I came home for a year, and I'm still here.
Well, obviously, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, well, I don't
You
think
did
that
too.
was his intention, though. I mean, I wanted to go get my MBA at that point, and most MBA schools require you to work 2 to 5 years. So that's still a goal of mine, which I would still like to do.
And you will.
I will. When my kids get maybe a little bit older. I have a 2 and a 5-year-old, so we're busy. But, I would still like to do that. So that's what brought me back here, and I really enjoy it.
Well, I'm glad you came back. So do you see in the insurance industry, we know how complex it is, do you see anything that's going to change in the coming years? Any kind of crazy quirks that, I'm not sure how much the industry has changed. I know as a consumer, it's changed a lot.
Yeah. So right now, I mean, everybody's probably going through what's happening in Florida anyways with the rate increases. The property rates have gone, what everybody seems really high. And that's due to a couple factors, we've had some roofers as well as extreme claims in Florida, and roofs are having to be replaced as well as the insurance companies have changed their tune on the age of the roof. So that's,
Oh yeah, I know that. That's a big deal.
yeah, so we're, literally every homeowner's policy is either getting a 40, 50 or higher % rate increase, or they might be non-renewed and we have to replace their policy because the insurance companies are changing their tune on the roof. So I don't think there's an easy fix right now to that part of it. I think it's going to take some time, as well as working with the state. The cost of reinsurance has gone up, so everybody's policies are going up because of that, not just the roof claims. And that's caused by fires, flooding, hurricanes. It's not just localized to Florida, it's all over. So I don't think there's an easy fix. I think it's going to take a lot of time. I know there was a couple bills that went this year in the House, and they all got turned down, but I know
to
that
fix the premium,
try
the premium,
to fix
or-
some of the roof issues, some of how the attorneys can come in and get a whole new roof when maybe you only need to replace 2 or 3 shingles. So trying to fix some of that, as well as policy language in the insurance policies. So I think they were trying to work together on that. It didn't happen. And speaking with Toby recently, they all got turned down, and there's nothing in the special session. So I don't think it's coming this year, but we really need to push as an industry to try and get that fixed, or at least modified to help the consumer, because we're consumers too. I mean, you know.
And I know every year I get an increase I guess as your house ages, do your premiums go up?
Not necessarily. I think, for, in 07, 08, the premiums actually came back down, and everybody forgets that the premiums came back down, and now they're just rising again. I think these are higher than they ever were back then, but.
So the rise in premium, is that due to just more, you're paying out more money, the insurance companies are paying out more money, there's more claims?
Well, twofold here. So they have to buy reinsurance, which pays for the claims. So they don't collect enough premium. Say your premium's $3,000. If you have a roof claim for $25,000, they don't collect enough premium to pay for that. I mean, over time, if you stay with the same company, they do. So they pay for reinsurance. The cost of reinsurance has increased. So that's one factor. In Florida, specifically, the claims have increased as far as roofs, litigation. If you're in a condo association, we recently just had Surfside. So those premiums have gone up on the condo association level. The markets have changed. Markets have come in, come out. So, with less markets writing premium, there's more of a monopolistic feel coming in, and the rates have gone up.
So obviously it's supply and demand. So when the rates came down, there were less claims. Is that?
Well, the reinsurance costs maybe came down.
Okay, so that could affect. Do you see that rates ever coming down again?
I don't know. That's hard to say. With inflation right now, I
don't have a crystal ball.
I don't. I wish they would. But also, if you think about it from an insurance perspective, I know as a consumer, we often think of it about us. But, if you're getting a new roof, say you have a roofer that comes and says, oh, you have some hail damage, for instance, because we've had some hailstorms the past couple years. Maybe you didn't really need a whole roof. Maybe you just needed a couple shingles replaced. Well, from an insurance perspective, the adjuster gives you a new roof, but they only, in their model, replace a roof every 25 years, like the length of your shingle. So now they're replacing roofs every 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
So their modeling has to change to account for these claims. So that's really, from an insurance perspective, why it's going up, as well as the cost of reinsurance.
So the last hailstorm we had, what was it? I don't remember when it was.
A couple weeks ago?
No, years ago. Years ago. So we had damage. So we called in, the adjuster came, looked at it, said, I guess our roof was probably maybe 12 or 13 years old at the time. They wouldn't replace the roof. Yet some of our neighbors had their roofs.
That was a good adjuster.
Yeah.
That was a good adjuster. No, I mean, just from an insurance
Yeah,
standpoint.
exactly.
I mean, if you need a new roof, then they're going to replace
Yeah.
it. But they're, when you have adjusters that come from out of state, and try and find these storms, and a lot of times there's fraudulent claims. There's actual true claims
Oh,
too
I'm
if
sure
you need
there
a new
are. Oh.
roof. But from an insurance perspective, there was an influx, and that was why, some of the legislation, they were trying to pass that bill 76 last year, and there's some holdup right now in the court system on that.
Okay, so your agency covers all types of insurance, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And the issue that we've had for years with health insurance. And so do you see a fix there anywhere?
No, I mean, the cost of health insurance has gone up. I think, things changed a couple years ago when Obama was in presidency, which kind of it did some good and some bad, I think, in my personal opinion, not from a business perspective, but, it did away with pre-existing conditions, which was nice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people couldn't get insured before with the pre-existing conditions. So,
Yeah, and that's huge.
yeah. The cost, unfortunately, now from an individual perspective to a business perspective, is about flat. So, I think what it's done also is made businesses purchase insurance for their employees, which has been a good thing as well.
Yeah, that's. I mean, at one time that was a given. You went to work, you were involved in a group health insurance plan. That's no longer the case, as we know. So we're winding down here. So what would you like to tell us that I haven't asked you? Is there something you want us to know about
About insurance?
about anything?
No, I mean, I just think, I'm proud to be in Martin County, and I love what Joe does for the community. So thank you so much for having me as your guest. I mean, I'm honored. And he's seen me grow from a little wee kid up to now working back in Martin County, and it's awesome. And I hope I'm able to help other, high schoolers as well as other community members do the same thing with their kids and help grow that, in the next couple years.
Yeah, and we're so happy to have you back here, and yeah, you are an example of what we would like to see our students, our children go off and come back and be. And so I'm very proud. You're a great chairman of our chamber. I'm proud to have you as a chairman, and it's coming full circle.
It is. It really is. Yeah, and it's not so bad here in Martin County. So if you're,
Tell all those all of you.
you don't even have to leave. We'll train you in trades or whatever you want. But Martin County's not so bad. You'll realize that when you leave and come back. Believe me.
It is a great place. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for having me. I'm
Thank you,
happy to be
Kelly,
here.
and I'm honored that you came.
Thank you.
Thank you.